In this video I'm going to show you my little rig, my little setup. So right now I've actually taken everything out of here because I'm about to do a gig tomorrow and it was a total mess, so I decided I'm going to rearrange it. So this is a case that I think I got from Bunnings, which is like a huge hardware store, and it's heavy duty. I've had this case for probably about 10 years, taken it to loads of gigs. It's been very well used. I've done tours through Europe with this baby, and it's great. It's simple and it's tough and whatever. It comes with these little dividers in here. So the way that I normally set this up, I'm going to show you all of my little bits and bobs, is something about this big. The way I decide that is with my pedals. So this is just a Boss blues driver, pretty classic, and I normally sit them in this way, so it kind of fits in beautifully. And I might actually just start with my pedals. Okay, so this is the standard heavy duty, really tough Boss chromatic tuner. The last one I had lasted me about 10 years or even longer, and this is a relatively new one, so it's not too beat up at this point, but these are great. It's got power in case you can't be bothered with batteries constantly replacing them, so you just kind of unscrew this bit. So you can have it battery powered, so just a 9-volt battery, or you can have power in here, and then also you can daisy chain out of it with one of these cables called a daisy chain. I think it's what it's called. Kind of out of there and then into other pedals. So into this other Boss pedal that would go in there, and that powers all of them up. Once it's plugged into there, the power goes through all of them. So that just kind of saves on batteries, and you've got a reliable source of power to your gear. That's the blues driver, which is like a distortion pedal, and this is a tremolo pedal, which is also just a Boss, really heavy duty kind of pedal. You can see I've had this one quite a while, and that's a nice little combo of pedals. I'm not huge into heaps of different pedals and effects. I'd rather try and write really good songs, but just have a little bit of kind of stuff that enhances that. So that's the first thing. The other thing that goes in there is this, which is an AB foot switch. So this is a really simple device. Basically it switches, you have an input that goes in there, and then it switches out to whether it's going to send the signal out of A or out of B. So this is an AB foot switch that's going to go in there. The thing I like to have on me is just a DI. This is a pretty cheap DI, just a Behringer DI that can get you out of trouble at a gig where the DI there is screwed, or they don't have one, or something weird happens. Always good to have one of these babies on hand. So that's just battery powered there, or you can run phantom power to that. And I've got a couple of other things. So this is a wireless AKG unit, which goes with this baby here. So this is pretty well worn. So I normally use this with my electric guitar. So this plugs into the guitar and it sends the signal to this baby. Take an output here to the amp. You've got yourself a wireless guitar, so you can run around doing cool solos. The other pedal is this Boss. This is a volume swell pedal. So just run the inputs in here and out there, and you can bypass it as well. You can adjust at what point the volume goes down to, etc. I like to have that on hand. The next thing is spare strings. So here are some electric guitar strings. So I like to have a bunch of different kind of ranges on hand from really heavy strings to really light strings. And then really importantly, some spare strings. So these are, if one has busted off, I normally keep the others, at least just to have a spare of each string, because these are, if you buy them individually, they're like $5 each. So spare electric guitar strings, and then same with acoustic guitar strings. So this is like a medium gauge, heavy gauge, light gauge, and then some spares in there. I take my own mic to gigs. This is a nice Sennheiser E945. So I like to take my own mic for a bunch of reasons. This is a pretty nice mic. Sharing mics in a venue, all sorts of stuff can happen. You can get sick from other people's germs. And it's just, you know, it's good to have a good mic spare on hand. Next thing that kind of goes on is bits and bobs, power supplies and things like that. So this is the power supply for the wireless unit, and this is the power supply for the Boss pedals. The other thing I like to have on hand is just spare batteries. So I only have one of those at the moment. I've got some AA batteries there that I'm actually going to replace. This is an extra little toolkit which has a bunch of things in it. So it's got spare plectrums, but it's got spare microphone stand, kind of inner things, tuning pegs, different kind of connectors, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, cable extenders, whatever, just bits and bobs, keep that stuff handy. Little plectrum case, it's got all kinds of picks in here for all occasions. Got some slides here. So for slide guitar stuff, there's like a glass slide and a metal slide. Here's a daisy chain, goes into that. I've got these capos, but I normally actually just leave them with the guitar. So they'll go in the guitar case, so I don't really keep them in that little pack. This is a spare tuning, it's a tuner. It goes on the headstock and then tunes the guitar. So I keep one or two of those kind of handy just in case. There's just some patch cables to go between the Boss pedals. So this connects the audio between all those. So this baby connects the power between those, and then these patch cables connect the audio. And the other two main things are just some tools. So this is mainly to help, you know, change strings and things like that, but you never know when these babies are going to come in handy, and they actually just sit in here nicely. So they just sit in there. And then the last thing is guitar and mic cables of various lengths and kinds. So this is a pretty short one, has a 90-degree end and a straight end. This one's quite a long one, same thing with a 90-degree and a straight end. Same again, a longer one, 90-degree and a straight end. This is a shorter one with two 90-degree ends. Long one with two straight ends. Quite a long mic cable. Yeah, if I'm taking a mic to a gig, I want to be prepared with taking a mic cable. Just another kind of XLR to jack connector in there. Then the mic cable is like the last thing to go in, and they kind of just sit on top there. And then close that up, lock it down, and that's it. So this is my little gig pack. This does me well for, you know, 90% of the gigs that I do. Everything's covered in there, enough mic cables to run acoustic guitar, electric guitar through those pedals, an AB box, a DI, all these little accessories, daisy chain, power supplies, wireless, spare strings, spare batteries. That's all neat and tidy, pretty self-contained, does the job. So if this video was helpful at all, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or leave me a comment below if you think there's something else I could add in there. and check out the description below for more.